definitely not. I think a true reflection of the match is probably the 60th minute, to be honest. The Storm obviously got out to a pretty handy lead there at 18-4 at half time, but we had a lot of belief in our first half. We were nowhere near our best, but it was only 2 tries to 1. I was seeing some signs in our game that I thought that we're here to play. And challenging to go out there and start the second half, the way we prepared to play, and we peg them back with a couple of tries there, and it's a big call there to the forward pass to Fecky in the corner. I haven't seen a replay of it, but watching it live, it looked like a blind ball, and that puts us in front. So all of a sudden, we've come down here with a busted team with 700 games experience out in Graham and Moylan and Gallen, and the 60th minute, we could have been in front, and so from there it took a turn for the worst, and a couple of penalties back down our end, and they found a few tries to round out the game. But get back to your question, I don't think it was a true reflection of the game, but certainly reflected Melbourne Storm's professionalism in the way they play. They're a fantastic club, and they showed it today.
How's Josh, and is he likely to miss a few weeks?
Oh yeah, I'd say so. He's got some ice on his hemi, so yeah. You don't finish a game with a hamstring, you normally never play the next week, and we've got a short turnaround Friday away for the Warriors, so you'd think there'd be a line through him. So he was one fullback to leave the field, and then we lost Josh Morris, who went there as well, so he left with a badly broken nose as well, so he's in a pretty ordinary way in the sheds at the minute. Who's that, mate?
Gordon Tallis was pretty scathing in commentary about Dukes. What's your read on where Dukes is at the moment?
Oh, geez, that'd be a bit harsh. I mean, he left the field with a hamstring injury. I thought Dukes has been very solid this year. Like, if you look at the centres alone in the game, okay, just look at the centres and compare their stats. Josh Dugan is ranked right up the top. Okay, so he's as far as him carrying the ball, his ability to break tackles, score tries, break the line, he's ranked as high as any centre in the game when he plays centre. So I thought he's tried real hard for us this year. He's been chopped and changed a bit with his positions, but he only played 12 games for the whole of last year, and he's played all but one game this year. I've been impressed with him. I thought he's really given us something. So, he probably shouldn't have played. Actually, he shouldn't have played today. He was busted, and he was busted last week. I couldn't put him to fullback last week because he literally had to come off the field. He's playing with a busted back. He got needled before he went out today. People don't see all that. People don't see what players are going through in the background and what they're doing to get onto the field to try and represent the club.
You mentioned how young the side was today. Do you think they've taken something from playing in a big game like this with a bit of history and a bit of extra attention? Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It was a great honour for me. It was great to play in this game. The Sharks to feature in this milestone game, and given the history the clubs have got, and I felt it was the performance. It was the game that we needed on the back of a few disappointing losses against sides that were. Couple of sides that were ranked lower than us. I felt this was a game that we really needed to fix some parts of our game up. So it was good, but yeah, it was good to come down here. And as you said, for our young guys like Bronson Cherry and Blake Brayley and whatnot to experience this sort of environment. Not many people down here cheering for us other than our passionate supporters we've got down here in Melbourne. But everyone obviously came here to see Cameron's 400th and celebrate it in style. And unfortunately we couldn't rain on the parade, but we're happy for Cameron, and we celebrate with everyone else his wonderful milestone.
You're still confident you can get a few bodies back in the coming weeks and turn it around and get into the finals?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're one win away from basically turning it around. That's how close the competition is. I know we've slid out of the top 8, and we're probably paying the price for a couple of close losses that we've probably done enough to win, but we have got nothing to show for it. Particularly the Bulldogs and Brisbane one. That's they're the two that really hurt. Not many sides would have come down here in such a big game for Melbourne and stole the 2 points. But our last 2 weeks leading to this have certainly cost us. But we go to Warriors next week and we're just desperate. We've just got to find a way to win. And when we get that win, we'll we're our first step of turning it around. And then hopefully we can come back home. And we've got a pretty good draw for the back end of the year as far as home games go. I think we're 5 from 7 at home, so it gives us a bit of belief that if we can sort of just get this first one out of the way, we've got a bit to play for. But talking finals is probably the last thing on my mind at the moment. We've just got to get a healthy team together and find a way to get that win that we need.
If you've got Dugan and Morris out the next round, have you got anyone coming back, or where do you see side at?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of a hospital ward in there at the moment, like it has been all year. We haven't, Wade Graham's missed 14 games. Moylan and Johnson have missed sort of 7 and 8. And, Gow's missed a couple now. He missed today. And now we'll be looking like we're adding a few more to that list. So I don't know. Honestly, don't know. Bronson Cherry hasn't played much fullback and he found himself there tonight. So, I'll be going over our full list and seeing, who's available. We leave on Tuesday, so we haven't been able to do much training in the meantime.
Sean Johnson, positive signs
Yep.
tonight?
Yeah. No, really good. 130 metres gained, a really good try. Sean Johnson, that's Shawnee, when he's playing confident and taking the line on. He's kicked well. And saw a bit more steel in his defence earlier in the game. So he's, like I said, he's had a great week at training and he's fine. He's slowly getting better and better. And he was good for us today. Yep.